Welcome. It is I, Tevin El Chapo, friends call me Chop, and we are back with another episode of Chop Logic, the show where we bring on people from many different walks of life to tell us about what they know, what they show, and see if they gonna go with some money. I just made that up. But we have a special guest here today. Special guest, the co-host of Two Peaches with a Pod. We have Courtney in the building. Courtney, first and foremost, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for supporting our show. You know what I mean? So you are also a podcaster as well, so just first and foremost, promote the show,
Sure. So hi everyone, my name is Courtney. Thank you, Chop, for having me. I am
Anytime.
really excited to be here. I am the co-host of Two Peaches with a Pod. My other co-host is Cammy. On the pod, I go by CoCo. And we talk about anything from entertainment to current events to just stuff that doesn't make sense in the world that some people, don't necessarily always talk about. And even though my co-host and I have very similar ideas, we're also very different. Or the feedback that I get is that, I'd never looked at it Cammy's way, or I see your point, but da-da-da, so...
Yeah, I saw the last episode where we talked about how Shonda Rhimes must pay for her crimes.
Let me stop laughing because it's not funny. Shonda Rhimes must pay for her crimes. I have a list of people who must pay for their crimes.
All right, so for the people who don't know, what are these crimes exactly? Murder? Arson? Grand Theft Auto?
I feel like they're crimes against the melanated community. Portrayal crimes against the melanated community.
Okay.
And so... in that list, Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry. Hello. Come on now. I don't think I need to explain any further. Oprah Winfrey. Yes. The queen of all queens. Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
Kind of problematic. And Shonda Rhimes is the newest member on that list. Yeah.
Okay. So, what put her on that list exactly?
Sure. Have you ever seen a Shonda Rhimes production?
Name them all for me.
Sure. There's How to Get Away with Murder.
What else you got?
Scandal.
Give me another one.
Bridgerton.
0 for 3.
Grey's Anatomy.
0 for 4.
Well, that was 4. Just to let you know, out of all the 4 that I just mentioned, there's never a hero that is a black male. That's that. Most of the relationships are interracial. That's what she portrays.
Okay.
And most of her leads are non-melanated people, and the melanated leads have severe issues. And most of the melanated leads are women with severe issues. So.
Okay, yeah, I probably seen one episode of. I don't think I've seen any episodes.
Interesting.
I feel like I might have seen an episode of How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh, how did you feel about the episode that you might have seen?
This had to been 2015, 16, so...
It had a lasting impression, huh?
Not really. I was watching it because of a lady friend at the time. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you nothing that happened in that episode.
We love to see it. So another reason Shonda Rhimes is on the list, she makes content that does not remain memorable for Chop. So.
Well, wait, first of all, let's not do that, because if that's the case, there's gonna be a lot of cats out here.
Yikes.
You feel me? Okay, but so Shonda Rhimes ain't doing it for you. Okay.
Well, no, that's another thing we discussed. Is we can name the things that are problematic, but still watch the shows.
So wait. So you're supporting the shows, but it's problematic. So how is she paying for the crimes if she's still getting the ad revenue from you still watching the show?
Sure. So I said
like she's benefiting from these crimes. White collar crime, I might even say.
Hey, you did that.
Come on now.
You did that.
Hey. Don't be the host for nothing.
Right. So at this stage, I'm pointing out the problem without necessarily having a solution. That's why I said Shonda Rhimes must pay for her crimes, not she will, and this is how we'll do it. Just we're identifying the problem right now.
Just identifying with no solution.
Solutions in progress. I mean, because it's
But what is the solution if the bare minimum of just not watching isn't?
Not watching or not, she's already getting paid, whether it's residuals, whether it's original contracts.
That's the thinking that keeps her up where she's at.
Possibly. But you can point out something being problematic and still support or certain aspects. I'm not saying every single production she does is just trash box. I'm just saying we need to look at Shonda Rhimes and her writing staff. That's the other point too. My co-host was making is it just Shonda Rhimes? I'm maybe it's her writing staff. Round them all up.
Round them all up.
Round them all up.
Just lock them up, throw away the key.
Lasso.
Just hit them with the Rico. Just everybody.
Yikes.
Free YSL.
Yikes.
Free YSL.
Yikes.
Free Thug. Free
Yikes.
Gunner. Free everybody, man.
Yikes.
Rest in peace to Lil Keed.
Yikes.
Rest in peace to Trouble. I can do this all day.
Right.
But, all right, so, Two Peaches in the Pod.
With a pod.
With a pod, excuse me.
It's okay.
I gotta get the name right.
It's
you know what I'm
okay.
saying? Two Peaches with a pod. What made that come about exactly?
Sure. So my co-host and I have known each other for a very long time, and we've always apparently want to work together, but we never like conveyed that to each other. And I had one project finish up, and like I said, her name is Cammie, and I kept thinking, I was like, I would love to do something with her. I don't know if it would be a podcast. I don't know if it would be a blog. I just know that we're both creatives. We both like entertainment. We like talking. We like, conveying ideas and brainstorming. And I thought that for about 2 or 3 weeks, I was like, I really want to do something with her. But then, you have work, you have other projects. And then I just didn't reach out. And then one day she reached out to me and was like, I really want to work with you on something. And I was like, oh my gosh, so do I. And so we literally started brainstorming, started getting, our thoughts together, like what could this look like? What could this develop into? What is it that you're trying to do? What do you want to talk about? And like I said, we have very similar ideas, but also we're very differing with how we approach certain issues or topics. So it just so far has been like a well-made match for us.
Okay, cool. So in terms of just the podcasting space, what do you consider like some of your mentors or people that influence you into doing it?
So that's a loaded question for a couple of reasons. So like I said, I had a prior podcast, and when I had that podcast, I had a co-host as well. And I was looking at all kinds of podcasts, like financial podcasts. I was looking at entertainment podcasts, a lot of entertainers and talkers, YouTube vloggers. I would do that. But at present day, I never want to have an idea that's not my own or that's not authentic or piggybacking off of something. So I honestly don't listen to a lot of people that are in a similar space. The main podcast that I do listen to right now is Clark Howard. I want to say he's Atlanta based. He's a financial advisor type person. But otherwise, I try to stay away from that because I never want an idea to not be my own.
I feel that for sure. I watch a lot of podcasts. Well, I don't watch a lot of podcasts. I watch a few.
What's a few though?
85 South Show. That was
Okay.
like the first podcast I ever even made me aware of what a podcast was.
They're funny.
Yeah, they're hilarious. Shout out to them. I watch $1 Million Worth of Game from time to time. Drink Champs from time to time. Really with those, it just depends on the guest. Like who's like the guest coming on. But mainly it's just 85 South more than anybody else. And Two Peaches with a Pod, of course. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to subscribe to them. Also on the YouTube channel. So you said that you had another podcast before this, or you had two
other ones, yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what were like some of the challenges that you had in those situations that kind of brought you into this one?
I would say, so for the main podcast, the first one that I had, that one went on for 3 seasons. It had a lot of different episodes. I would say the first challenge we faced was scheduling, since we weren't in the same location. So making sure that we can virtually get together. The second would be monetization. I felt like we were putting out a lot of content. We were staying as consistent as possible, and we just weren't getting money. Not that we expected to be like Scrooge McDuckin into like barrels of money, but it was just like it took a while, like until our 3rd season before we were monetized. So there was that. And then fourth was balancing. So we were working together, and we were also friends outside the podcast. So it's like balancing working with someone who's your friend when maybe you're going through things in the friendship. So those are, I'd say, the top 3 obstacles that come to mind right away. For the second podcast, that one is actually with my brother, and that one's super fun because it's gaming based. He and I like love video games, grew up playing video games, but our schedules are so varied. He's always on the go, I'm always on the go. So even if it's not in person and it is virtual, then it's a huge scheduling conflict. So that one's like semi-hiatus.
Okay, yeah, I get that. Favorite video game?
I don't like to play favorites, but every time I get on the Xbox, I have to start off with Borderlands 3. That's the first thing I play. Okay. Every time. And then Diablo. Reverse Souls.
Oh, you into those types?
What does that mean?
Like a RPG type.
FPS RPG, yeah.
Okay.
What about you? Do you game?
Not as much as I used to. I used to love video games back in the OG Xbox era. You know, I used to play stuff. I used to play third-person shooters like Gears of War. So I played the first 3 Gears of War.
Great
games,
franchise.
Great games. I used to play Splinter Cell, Dead Space 1 and 2. I don't know if anybody remember those.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a horror game.
Okay.
But I used to play a lot of those. I used to play a lot of single-player games. I never was big into like multiplayer stuff like that. And we didn't even have internet when I was a kid. Like, we didn't have internet in the house until I was in college. So
not even like the AOL discs?
We didn't have none of that until I was in college. Yes.
How did you survive? Wouldn't you need video games? Because you don't need the internet.
So that's what really got me into like the story modes of these games. You feel me? Like, I would play the story like crazy. Grand Theft Auto 4, one of my favorite games ever. You know what I'm saying? I would just play those like hell. And that was really it. I didn't really have anything. There was no internet. So it was just like, hey, get online. Like, what is that? What does that even really mean for real? I don't have anything of the sort.
I can't imagine not having internet till college. Like, that just sounds...
All right, first of all, a lot of people, yes, you're right. In this era, that sounds mad crazy. But you got to understand, this is the 2000s. Internet was a luxury in the 2000s. Kids may not remember that. I'm not that old, but I remember that, though.
Internet was not a luxury. I'm not going to let you get that off. Internet was not a luxury.
It was a luxury in my house, for sure. 2 things that was a luxury in my house: internet and AC. We didn't have that until I get to college either. They both came around the same era, and I was already at the house by that point. So
I feel like AC I can understand not having, especially in like hot, humid climates, things going on and off, houses doing what houses do. Internet, I don't know.
I'm not understanding the disconnect here. So you're saying that it's more logical that I would have internet in my house than AC? And you know we in Georgia, right?
That's why I said climates doing what climates do and houses doing what houses do. Yes, I know we are.
We didn't have internet, man. The house wasn't, look, it ain't even about me. This is Top Logic. I am the host, but this ain't about me right now. This is about you. So I don't even know why you bringing all this. Bringing back bad memories.
Listen, I do what I can.
I remember sweating in the bed playing 2K by myself. I had to play 2K11 by myself.
But that's great because you can
Jordan on the cover.
You can set the computer level to high so that when you do play with like real humans, then you'll be ready.
But that day never came. Here we are, 2022.
I'm sure you played 2K with a real human by now.
Yeah, okay. By now, yes.
Straight up lying.
By now, at this point, yes. In my older age, yes, it's happened. But when I was younger, Tevin, nah. It never got to happen. It didn't happen until again college.
May I ask, do you have siblings?
I have a twin sister.
Okay. She didn't play games?
Not really, no. We did have, look, again, talk about not having internet. We used to have Street. So we had Street 1, and I used to have Street 2. And we used to play those. But that was like the most we played for real. And we didn't even play that like that. Like, I played that more than she did. You know what I'm saying? Because like I remember we had, I had the Xbox and then she had the PS2. And then we kind of just, you know, did it like that. But again, it's not about me. I don't know how we got here. So yeah, in terms of just podcasting and everything like that. So like, what does success look like for you in this realm?
If you ask me that, I feel like my answer changes from month to month. So I'd say last month's success looked like, you know, having these milestones, like let's get to 100 followers, let's get to 200 followers, let's get to 300 followers. And this month, it doesn't look like that to me because I see that our listenership still goes up. I'm looking at analytics. I'm like, okay, this is important stuff, but also more than that, and not to sound like sappy or just textbook, more than that is like we have people interacting with us, people who are regular listeners, you know what I mean? So trying to necessarily like go viral or, you know, just take off, I feel like one isn't realistic and isn't genuine to what we're doing. So success to me looks like having dedicated followers that are, you know, consistently listening, consistently supporting. That's success to me. That's one. And then 2, go ahead.
You go ahead and open the door, bro.
Oh, I didn't know it was going to do that. See, I thought it was just going to be, testing.
And as we keep going with the show, because nothing happened at all.
I'm so good. I am cool.
You're fine. You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know, we got Jermaine in the back. Shout out to Jermaine. We can't point the camera at him.
I'm going to have to update my notes now. Got ghost people at the door. But yeah, success to me looks like having dedicated followers and listeners, as well as us being able to talk about things that we want to talk about. You know what I mean? Not having any kind of caps, not having any kind of like, we have to tiptoe around anything. Just being real and authentic with who we are as people. And that's another thing I appreciate about my co-host. Like, she takes the good, the bad, the crazy, the excited, the demure versions of me, all versions. She's just like, this is you. And I accept that. So that's what I appreciate.
Yeah, for sure. I understand. That's real dope. That's real dope. So, you know what I'm saying? Anybody who was like doing this, kind of like us, you know what I'm saying? Like, on Chop Logic, if you had any advice that you can give in terms of just, you know, podcasting, stepping your feet into it, like what would you give just based on your experience?
If people are stepping into podcasting, the first thing I would say is if you're starting off, don't feel like you need to buy some $500 podcast starter kit. Like, you probably have the main things that you need in your home to start off. No offense.
I feel attacked. All right.
No.
Not to say I spent $5 on anything.
Let me clarify.
Not to say that at all.
Don't feel like if you don't have...
I have no money. I must say that for the record. I have no money.
Stop it.
I have no money. I have no credit. I have no nothing. You kidnap me, you get nothing back.
You know what my mom always said? My mom was like, nobody would ever kidnap you. I was like, why'd you say that? She's like, after 5 minutes, they turn around and give you back. And I'm like... how am I supposed to take that, Mom?
I ain't never had that convo with my mom. That's crazy.
Listen, don't ever have it. I'm just trying to say, don't feel like, if you feel like, oh, I don't have enough, don't have the mentality of, I don't have enough money to start a podcast. You can start off very simply with the things that you have around you, whether it's your phone, recording apps, whether it's your, if you don't have internet, if you want to go to like the library. Or if you want to go
to do what exactly?
If you want to go to the library, they now have like these solo sound systems, sound booths. They have rooms you could do. It's kind of like when you go to the colleges too, where you can rent rooms and sound booths. Yeah, libraries are trying to step it up because who really goes to the library nowadays?
That's what I was just saying. Like, I ain't been in a library back when I didn't have internet. Yo, real talk. I'm big heavy into music. I love music so much. This was back in the MP3 era. Again, kids these days are not gonna know what I'm talking about. But you had to have an MP3 player, an iPod, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You had to download music onto that bad boy. And again, I ain't had no internet. So I had to go to the library every Saturday. I wrote a whole list of every album, song, whatever. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get this, that, the third, you know what I'm saying? I would like do as much due diligence as possible so that, you know what I'm saying, as soon as I get on the computer, I can just download everything at one time. And it was not easy because sometimes you had to go through the janky links.
Yep.
And you only get like an hour at most on the computer before they hop you off it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like scrambling, trying to get hundreds of songs in like an hour. Yeah. Just download. So then sometimes it wouldn't download. I wouldn't find out till I got home. I had to be like, it's a whole thing, man. I don't know why we flashing back to my pre-internet life, man.
Yeah.
Sad.
It's wild. Not only that, you get one song title you think you download, then you get home it's another one. Shout out to you, Soulja Boy. He used to do that. He used to make you one song title and then it was something else. But even before like MP3s and stuff, before, you know, the internet was a thing, do you remember hit clips? It was like 8 seconds. See, now I'm dating myself. So hit clips were these little square devices and you put them into these playing devices and it would play like 8 to 12 second snippets of a song and that's it. That's why it was called a hit clip. You would have like Backstreet Boys, Beyonce might have had a hit clip. It does sound like an audio Vine without the jokes. NSYNC, Britney Spears, like literally 8 to 12 seconds that you put in there, and then that's it.
No, I remember LimeWire.
No internet.
You know what I'm saying? Downloading Wayne mixtapes back in the day.
And FrostWire when it upgraded.
You know what I'm saying? Getting hella virus just on hella computers.
Yikes.
I had a whole hard drive. I'm mad that shit crashed and everything, but I had a whole hard drive just music by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't never seen that day in my life.
Yeah, I'm dating myself apparently.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, when I didn't, so my parents were kind of like suspicious about viruses and stuff like that. But I had a homegirl who in like, I guess high school, middle school, she would burn CDs. She would risk her own, house computer. So she'd charge people like $2 or $3, but she put like 22 songs on a CD. So that's what I do. A CD is a compact disc. It's like a small version of a record for those of you who don't know.
CDs was the thing too. Like my stepdad, my stepdad's homie knew T.I. So like when T.I.'s albums used to come out, he would always get like a bootleg version, like before the official came out. And then I would burn that. I remember I burned it a few times, and then I would burn it on a bunch of different copies and then sell them at school and stuff like that.
Okay.
You know a little side hustle type.
Chop was the plug.
Man, I was trying, man. Look, I'm telling you, man.
He been hustling.
You trying to make some money out here, you know what I'm saying? There's money's out here, you know, you just got to put your name on it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's out there, ready to be made.
But again, this is all pre-internet, man. A lot of these folks are not going to know what the hell we talking about for real. We talking about bandwidth and wired internet.
Well, do you even know what that is? Okay, so you do
I know
what
the
that is.
AOL. Man, look.
I'm just
This is a mean tangent. I understand, but y'all gotta understand too. Like, we didn't have internet, but I was going through everything in the world to get internet. I remember when No Ceilings first came out, and I remember hearing it because my sister, we all had computers, but again, no internet, so we wasn't doing.
But y'all all had computers.
I would play music, I would play games, and even the games were just minimal. You know what I'm saying? So it was just stuff like that. So again, just no internet whatsoever. We was doing everything but that. So basically, you know what I'm saying? I remember No Ceilings drop. I remember Swag Surf, the first song on No Ceilings. It was going stupid crazy. I heard it. My sister was playing it, and I'm like, "Nah, I know we ain't got no internet. Where the hell
How did you
from?"
get that?
And then she was like, "I don't know. However, I moved the computer. I got some Wi-Fi or whatever." Because we had this was back when you had to like plug in a little Wi-Fi adapter. You know what I'm saying? In the back of the computer. Anybody gonna remember this? All right, we speaking. I'm speaking foreign tongues now. But look, it was just like. So I'm just like going crazy, like, bro, this is one of the hardest songs I've ever heard. Cause you know, it's Wayne when Wayne was Wayne, you know? So it was just like, oh, I gotta get this. As soon as I'm like, I'm trying to download the song real quick and it'll cut out instantly. Like that one little sprinkle of internet. And then I promise you, like I was thinking about that whole week and I'm like, bro.
Not the whole week.
I promise you, cause this was like early, this had to been like on a Sunday night. So you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we usually go on Saturdays to the library. So I'm like, man, I gotta get this. So I go to the library, I downloaded the whole mixtape, No Ceilings, but apparently Wayne dropped 2 different versions of the mixtape. I didn't even know that because there's one version that had like, oh, let's do it with him and Waka Flocka and all that, and then it was the one that didn't have that, didn't have like the extra songs on it. So I had the one that didn't have the extra songs. So I'm playing it, and then I'm at school or whatever, and I start hearing, oh, let's do it, and I'm hearing Wayne on it, and I'm like, now I know for a fact. So I had to go a whole nother week. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing we talking about at all. But
that's the beauty of tangents. They're natural, normal.
That's
real.
the beauty of nostalgia. It hurts your feelings all over again.
Especially when you don't have internet.
I don't even know why you said that. That was crazy.
I thought that's what we were talking about.
It's so crazy. I just said how it hurt my feelings, and you just did that. All right. Back to the topic. Shout out to J. Cole, another mixtape. All right. Work-life balance in terms of just, you know, what you do. So, you know, with podcasting, I know it's like different. It's definitely difficult to just stay consistent for one, but it's also difficult to just find that balance of doing it and then just living your life outside of it. So, like, how do you find that balance exactly?
Sure. So one thing in regards to the podcasting space is that we have a set schedule. We podcast every Tuesday, come rain or shine, unless there's something that's just impending doom or like, you know, we're both not feeling it or something like that, but it has to be agreed upon. Otherwise, every Tuesday, that's what I'm at. I can't do anything on Tuesdays with anybody. I'm potting with my co-host. So that's number one for that. And I feel like since we have that set schedule, I can plan the rest of my work and life around that. So that's okay. So.
Okay, cool. That's not bad at all. You know what I'm saying? Was it always like that, or is it kind of just something y'all kind of figured out?
We figured out that's what works best for us. So in my previous podcast that I mentioned with my other co-host, that wasn't necessarily the case. We'd have like floating dates and floating days, and there would be weeks where it'd be like, oh, okay, let's push it back, and then neither of us wants to do it. Okay, let's do it next week. And that is not good. It's not good for productivity. It's not good for consistency. And it also shows that we were at different places with having the drive to actually produce. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, having a consistent schedule has been great for us.
So even with having a schedule, like what does a typical shooting day look like? Y'all already have everything planned on like talking points and just how y'all gonna do it? Or do we just start with a good topic and then go on tangents about internet, like kind of how we doing right here, right now? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the internet.
Shout out to the internet. Childish Gambino, you like that album?
Because of the internet, yes.
Because of the internet, my bad. Still shout out.
You know what I'm saying? Awaken My Love, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 2005. That's my jam too.
Atlanta.
Hey. Hey,
I know some of these words.
What happened to that boy at Lenox Mall? Did you see that episode?
I didn't catch it. So we gonna hop into multiple tangents at this point.
Okay,
So
you're right. Backtracking. So we do have, I laughed originally because we do have a list. So we have a collaborative working document and a collaborative spreadsheet that we both have access to that has most of our information on it. And each episode we update a new tab with the ideas, we have the categories, we have all that good stuff. And we can both literally fill in topics, notes, things we want to get to, and then record and do none of it. So nice. It's like it's there for reference if we need it or if we have pauses or if we get breaks. But our conversation is so natural and flowy that we don't necessarily have to reference it every time. But if there are things we have to talk about, like how I put on there, Shonda Rhimes must pay for her crimes. I put it in capitalization. And Cam was like, oh, by the way, CoCo wants to talk about this. Like, it's going to get talked about. But otherwise, we try to go with the flow.
Oh, okay. So that's like where you got from with the coming in this one with notes, even though you're a guest. For those who don't know, she actually took notes on us as a production.
Here we go. Which is there's nothing wrong here, and here. Nothing wrong with coming in, being prepared, having your notes. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like if you what did it say? If you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. So I'd rather have too many notes than not enough notes. That's how I am about everything. I'd rather have too much of something than not enough of something.
I guess, but again, this wasn't nothing that required notes, at least on your end. I did my due diligence.
But that's your work process. That's not my work process. My work process requires notes.
I get that, but as a guest, like, what are you noting of exactly?
They're my notes. We don't have a collaborative working document.
Okay, so now that we're here on the show recording, how about we get into these notes? What are the notes pertaining to? Why don't you, you know what I'm saying, pull them out right now?
My notes?
Yeah.
No. Let's talk about your notes.
We already going through them right now.
Okay, well, let's keep going that way then. This is your podcast. I'm not about to just take the reins.
But you made notes for my podcast. So
right,
that's what I'm
for
saying.
Me. Notes for me.
Take the reins. We just talked about video games, internet, no ceilings.
No internet. Didn't we talk about that?
What's the next question?
Am I tripping?
All right, so what are some of the core values that you have just for life in general, and how do you what values do you have that you apply to your podcasting?
Core values for life, I'd say the thing that always comes to mind, or the saying that I try to apply for myself or in all life situations, is like, when there's like when there's like an airplane issue, turbulence or whatever it is, and they're like, put your mask on first. That's what I try to tell people. It's like, you have to put your mask on first before you can save anybody else. And like, while you're over there trying to save little Timmy, little Janie, Uncle Joe Bob, or whomever else, like, if you get hurt, then everybody's gone. So that's one thing I try to tell people. Like, you have to take care of yourself first. You have to make sure that you're good first, and then you can divvy up whatever it is, whether you want to donate time, donate money, whether you want to help out other people. But you have to make sure that you're good first, because who else is going to make sure that you're good first? Everyone else usually is typically centered on self, or should be, I believe, because I feel like it's also that other saying where it's like, I'm trying to help you put out the fire in your backyard and my house is burning down. So that's one of the main core values that I try to think of. And a lot of people might see that as selfish, but I see it as you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. No,
for sure. You definitely got to know how to be your own hero. Save yourself, you know what I'm saying? Static chop, you know what I'm saying? That's the haha. You know what I'm saying? We got an A. Come on, that's that.
Shock to your system. Do you have a tagline?
I got hella taglines. I can go for days on just a variety of topics and things, you know what I'm saying? Just dribble and dabble, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. But again, it's not about me.
It's not about you.
Even though you made notes, and I kind of still want to hear them. As a hero, I would love for you to save our production by telling us what exactly you had noted for this occasion.
I believe you. And since we both have notes, and I am an adamant believer that you should put your own mask on first, I feel like you should put your
this
own
is
notes.
Me already putting the mask on. We've already done 30 minutes of my mask on.
What? That's wild.
Percocet.
Wow.
Molly Percocet.
Mask off. F it. Mask off. Can you curse on this podcast? I don't curse in general.
Okay, well, I was trying not to curse too much, but definitely you can curse on this podcast. I don't care.
F word, mask off. F word, mask off.
I love that.
I do what I can.
That's lovely. That sounds like how how they would cuss on like Full House or something.
You know they have a reboot, Fuller House.
And it's not like they're full of shit, but I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it, man. Rest in peace to Bob Saget, though, man. It's like,
For real.
You know what I'm saying?
America's dad.
All right, so, you know, the last question before we get into the trivia, the fun part.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Where do you see yourself in 5 years in terms of just the podcasting and just in life in general?
That's a great question. That answer was in my notes. So in 5 years,
All right.
Yeah, in 5 years, I see myself having something called Peachy World Productions, and I see it as a production company with a gaming sector, a DIY and lifestyle sector, as well as a podcasting sector. Hopefully, by then, I would have had my mask on long enough, and I can pour into other creatives who are trying to either get into the realm of having their own sites, having their own YouTube presence, having their own digital platform. So that's what I know I'll be doing in 5 years.
Okay, nice. Kind of like a G4 type thing.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I know I'm the only one who watched G4. Attack of the Show.
Okay, yeah, sure.
This is crazy. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into the trivia, man. You know, I'm sick of this. You know what I'm saying? So basically, this is how we're going to do it. You got 5 questions. Each question is worth $5. You get the question right. But if you get the question wrong, you win jack shit. Not a damn thing. You win a one-way ticket out my living room. So you win that regardless, but you know, however you want to look at it. So this is the fun part. The whole point of the show, the whole point of this part of the show rather, is to keep my money. Now, I think these questions may be easy. They may not be. But
am I allowed to say something?
Go ahead.
Listeners, viewers, we already talked about how trivia was rigged in his favor, so I don't know what he means by easy. I don't know what his definition
Okay, so yeah,
easy
welcome
is.
to, if you haven't been watching, welcome to Chop Logic, where I definitely rig all questions into my favor because, again,
Yikes.
I want to keep my money.
Yikes.
I say this like every episode. I want to keep it for sure. So I'm not going to make anything easy for anybody to walk out with my dollars. So... You know what I'm saying? You can ask Javane in the back, man. You can ask.
Javane, does he make it easy?
No. Not at all.
Javane said no. Oh, okay.
He got 2 out of 5,
That's
right?
40%.
And then let's not even talk about the first episode we shot. We had to double back and make sure them questions was even right.
Oh my god.
So
it could be rigged and wrong. Yikes.
Oh, these are right 100%, but it's still rigged. Rigged, yes.
Okay.
Right, also yes.
I'm feeling a little antsy.
All right, so here you go.
I don't
Question
know.
number 1. Which country leads the world in podcast consumption?
Ooh, podcast consumption?
Yes, which country leads the world in podcast consumption?
I've never thought about that.
That's why we do it, baby. I'm telling you,
Never
man.
thought about that.
So you got multiple choice.
Oh,
so
great.
Now I don't want to do it. Now I'm like,
Thank you.
now I want this to be a short answer. You know what I'm saying? All right. So is it A, USA? Is it B, Sweden? D, Canada? Or C, Canada? Or D, England? So again, A, United States. B, Sweden. C, Canada. D, England.
I'm thinking about landmass. So I'm thinking USA or Canada. But then when I think about English people, I think England. How many guesses do I get?
All right. First of all, how many guesses?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as long as it takes you. Once I ask you, it's the final answer. It's the final answer. So.
Okay. So you will ask me if it's the final answer.
Yes, before I hit the bell or the buzzer. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say A, the U.S.
That's your final answer.
No. I have to think about it a little bit more. Can I phone a friend?
No.
Is there a 50-50 I can use?
Also no.
Do you give clues?
0 for 3.
Can I phone one of your friends?
0 for 4 again.
Rigged.
Of course. Do you even think I was playing?
Thank you. See, I want to say the U.S., but I also don't want to just say the U.S. But it could be the right answer.
It could be. What you mean?
Let's just try the U.S. Final answer.
Final answer.
Yeah. Final answer.
Are we sure?
Final answer.
Are we sure about this?
We're sure
All right.
of it being the final answer.
Incorrect.
Of course. Can I guess what it may have been? Canada? Okay.
Also incorrect.
England?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
She's never gonna get that right.
I didn't even know that. It's like I just felt
Hey, that's the point.
No. I need you to give those feelings.
I'm not joking.
Give me some of those feelings.
First of all,
dice roll those feelings over here.
First of all, I love the audience energy. This is definitely making me feel even more better about what we're doing today. I'm not even gonna hold you, but the answer was B, Sweden.
Oh my goodness. See,
why is it Sweden? I don't know. I don't ask these questions, man. It's Sweden though. Yes.
I just knew it wasn't in this hemisphere.
Right.
I just knew it was.
Which I thought, that's why I was thinking Europe, but I'm like, those countries in mass are small, populace is, smaller, but that's why I felt like that was the wrong answer, but yeah.
It was a good guess, though. I would have guessed that, too, if I didn't have the answer right here in my face.
I knew it.
I would have guessed the same thing. To be fair, that's not fair.
It's rigged. What you mean?
It's rigged, but to be fair, if it wasn't rigged and I didn't know either, I would have guessed the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Question number 2. Question number 2, man. Which social media platform was born from a failed podcasting platform? Which social media platform was born from a failed podcasting platform? Was it A, Twitter, B, Instagram, C, TikTok, D, Vine?
A, Twitter.
You
Or
sure?
D, Vine.
What's your final answer?
I'm going to say A, Twitter.
That's your final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
You sure?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's wild. Yes. Launched in
Right.
2000.
I'm like, out of all those, I think Twitter.
For art.
Yeah.
Launched in 2005, Noah Glass' original company was called Odd Bug. The idea was that the user would call a telephone number, which would turn their recorded message into an audio file hosted on the internet.
I had no idea. That
He
sounds
later-
like a cool. Sorry, I didn't know you.
No, I'm saying he later, 2006, turned that idea into Twitter. So yes.
Okay. I had no idea. Well, I had some inkling, but I had no idea about his original process.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, look, you already start. Hey, look, 1-1.
20%.
Come on now. We still got 3 more. So,
Yikes.
question number 3. Podcasting was named after Apple's first iPod, which was released in what year? Yes, sir. It was an A, 2000, B, 2001, C, 2002, D, 2003.
I'm going to go C, 2002.
That's your final answer?
Yes.
You sure?
It depends. What is your finger hovering over?
Finger is not over anything.
Okay, well, put your finger where it was about to go. Like, over which, was it the boo
Is this your final
button or
answer
the
or
woo?
not?
That's what I'm trying to get.
You trying to rig the rigger?
Whoa! No need to use the hard R.
Whoa.
Calm down, child. It's family friendly.
Hold up. No, over.
You didn't like that, Drew?
No, we didn't like that one. No, I'm finna hit you with it again.
Twice? That's excessive, no? Can they hear this?
That's wild.
That's excessive.
So C, final
3
answer?
times. What if I said like B 2002? How would that go?
What?
I'm asking. I'm asking. How would that go?
That would be wrong for 2 levels. You're mixing 2 answers to get.
I'm gonna go
So again, A, 2000.
C 2002. We'll just see what happens.
C, 2002.
Final answer.
Final answer. Okay.
2002.
You got it right. Jeez.
Thank you.
How you?
Chop is about to chop me off the show, you guys. He's about to chop me off the show. I can't.
Right, you got 2 right. You in there.
All right, I'm in there.
It's crazy. All right, 2. It's all right. It's crazy. Okay.
How is it crazy?
What was okay? Number 3. What does the term pod safe refer to? Pod safe. So this podcast, pod safe. What does pod safe refer to? Is it A, podcasts that are acceptable for children? B, podcast files that can be scanned for viruses? C, podcasts shorter than an hour? Or D, music that can be used in podcast?
I feel like it's A or B. I don't know if it's too literal though by being pod safe. If that would be too literal for children. Pod safe also sounds like a file conversion software. I'm gonna go A. Final answer.
You sure?
Thank you.
Just making sure, man. Look, because it was wrong with him. So,
Well, I was still going to be sure.
so the answer was D. Music that can be used on podcasts. So music that you can use without copyright agreements is pod safe.
Okay.
So yeah. All right. So what is that? That's like
Question. So if I looked up PodSafe and did find something relative to that, meaning children could listen to the pod, what then?
I mean, you can do that,
That's facts.
but it's rigged in the sense that I made that answer up. So the odds of it being
You
that,
made the answer.
I would love to see that. I will give you that question back. If you show me that, I'll give it back to you.
Hold
I gave it back. Look, man, listen. Listen.
up.
Question 5. The final question. You got 2?
Not enough.
2 out of 2?
Not enough.
That ain't bad. Last question though. Come on now.
I'm here.
You gotta put your phone away first though. I can't
Oh
trust
yeah.
that at all.
Okay,
I
that's
can't
fine.
trust that at
It's
all.
okay. The person who rigged the game can't
I
trust
ain't
me
rigged the
with my
game.
phone.
I'm the host.
Wild.
I'm not gonna say the R word, but I'm the one who rigged it. I can have my phone. Not you. Question 5. Which U.S. president was the first to use the podcast format for weekly radio addresses? Which U.S. president was the first to use podcast format for weekly radio addresses? Was it A, Barack Obama, B, Bill Clinton and them, C, Donald, we know who that is, D, George W. Bush, the second one, not the first one, because it was 2 Bushes.
I feel like it wouldn't be the Clintons. I feel like that's too long ago.
If you say so.
So I'm going to rule him out. Trump came after President Barack Obama. I'm going to say President Barack Obama. Final answer.
Obese.
President Barack Hussein Obama. Really? So it had to be George W. then. That was my second. That was my second
I can't
thought.
hear it, yeah.
That was my second thought.
Hey, 2 out of 5. Look, you know.
Not enough.
Yeah, I was thinking because of 2002, the podcast, and I'm like, it wasn't Obama or Donald.
Yeah.
See, you really,
Yeah, too
honestly,
long.
the other one you got right, honestly, could have been a hint because who was president in 2002?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Actually, let me go ahead and look up PodSafe because I'm pretty sure. that
We really gonna do
is,
this? All right, B.
A child.
Take your time, Pastor.
Not you making up questions.
I made up answers.
Not you making up answers to questions.
The wrong ones, yeah. I mean, what does it matter if it's wrong? Come on now, like if it was right, that's one thing.
I don't want to spend all the airtime researching, but if I find it, I'll get. Do y'all see this? This is how he treats his guests. Do y'all see this?
That's how I
Do you
treat
hear
this specific guest.
That's
If
why I
you've been
said
watching-
this guest. Y'all heard me say this guest?
If you've been watching up to this point, man, we've actually, you know what I'm saying, we do a lot better in terms of respecting our guests when they get wrong answers. Kinda.
So why am I getting the disrespect?
So how am I going to get treated?
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm not saying you getting disrespected, but what I am saying is you came in with notes. I'm saying is you questioning my answers.
One,
You questioning the answer nevertheless, less than never, you feel me?
for a rigged game.
It's rigged again, but you still got questions right. So it's like,
But not enough.
according to who?
Me, according to Courtney, also known as CoCo from Two Peaches with the Pod.
There you go. So yeah, thank you, CoCo, for coming through to the show.
Thanks for having
You know
me.
what I'm saying? We appreciate you so much, very much, for handling business.
Thanks.
You definitely did your thing. Please, once again, don't forget to promote yourself, social medias. You know what I'm saying? The show itself, Two Peaches with a Pod, Make sure, you know what I'm saying? Where can we find all those at?
Sure. So we're on Instagram at Two Peaches with the Pod. We are on YouTube and Spotify. Those are the 2 places you can watch us and listen to us. We're on Amazon Music. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Anchor. And for me personally, my resale business, you can find me at Peachy Girl Cali World. And I do skits over there. And I resell, and I'm in that community as well. So, and my co-host name is Cammy. So you can find Cammy and CoCo at Two Peaches with the Pod.
Hey, turn up. Well, thank you so much, Courtney, you know what I'm saying, for coming through. We had to do it again. You know what I'm saying?
We did not have to do that again.
You gotta understand,
We
that's
did
probably
not
the
have
most
to do that
least
again.
used. That's like the least used sound effect on the board, to be honest.
But
with
the
you.
most
So,
used today.
Exactly. I gotta get. You know what I'm saying? I gotta
you
get my
don't
money's
have
worth.
to.
Not my money's worth. I don't have any money per se. Things of that nature. I don't have money. But I was just saying that and we got special guest Frankie. Shout out to Frankie.
Ooh, shout out to Frankie.
He's just mad chilling. So you gonna take Frankie with you?
Negative Ghost Rider. I didn't know. I shouldn't have said anything.
I just wanted to do
shouldn't have
that.
said anything.
She said she was taking Frankie.
She did say that.
Who said that in my Portia voice? Who said that? Can we end the show before you?
All right, guys. So that is it. This has been Chop Logic. I've been Tevin El Chapo. Friends call me Chop. Thank you so much for being here with us today. You got me messing up. And we will definitely catch you next time. Peace out. Much love. We out of here.